Hello, future biologists. Welcome to an exciting journey into the Aids to Health chapter for ICSE Class 9 Biology. Today, we are diving deep into a fascinating topic, antibodies. These tiny powerhouses are essential for our body's defense. We'll explore them through 4 levels of detail: easy, medium, hard, and hardest, ensuring you grasp every nuance. Let's begin. Ready to uncover the basic secrets of your body's defenders? At the easy level, we'll understand what antibodies are and their simple yet crucial role in keeping you healthy. Let's get started. So, what exactly are antibodies? Simply put, they are special Y-shaped proteins. Think of them as your body's personal defense agents. They are primarily found circulating in your blood and other body fluids, always on the lookout. Their main job is to identify and neutralize harmful invaders. These invaders could be anything from bacteria and viruses to toxins. They are a critical part of your immune system, which is your body's shield against illness. Without them, we'd be much more vulnerable to infections. Let's look at how these tiny defenders work. When a foreign substance, like a germ, enters your body, your immune system recognizes it as a threat. It then quickly learns to produce specific antibodies tailored to that particular invader. Once produced, these antibodies act like smart missiles. They bind specifically to the germ, either neutralizing it directly or tagging it. This tagging makes it easier for other immune cells to find and destroy the threat. For example, if you get measles, your body makes measles antibodies, which then fight off that specific virus and protect you from future infections by the same virus. Now, let's test your understanding with a few questions. Take a moment to think about these. 1. What is the primary function of antibodies in the human body? 2. What shape are antibodies typically described as? And 3. Where are antibodies primarily found in the body? Good luck! Now that you have the basics, let's level up. In the medium section, we'll delve deeper into the structure and production of these vital proteins, exploring their incredible specificity. Antibodies, also known as immunoglobulins or RAG, are sophisticated Y-shaped proteins. Each antibody molecule is made up of 4 polypeptide chains, 2 identical heavy chains and 2 identical light chains. These chains are held together by strong disulfide bonds. The arms of the Y-shape are particularly interesting. They contain highly variable regions that form the antigen binding sites. These sites are like unique locks designed to perfectly fit a specific key, which is the antigen. This intricate structure allows for their incredible specificity. So, how are these amazing molecules produced? When your body encounters an antigen, such as a piece of a virus, specific B lymphocytes, a type of white blood cell, are activated. These activated B cells then undergo a transformation. They multiply rapidly and differentiate into plasma cells. Plasma cells are essentially antibody-producing factories, secreting vast quantities of specific antibodies into your bloodstream. Crucially, some activated B cells also develop into memory B cells. These memory cells don't produce antibodies immediately but remain in your body, ready to mount a much faster and stronger immune response if the same antigen is encountered again, providing long-term immunity. The specificity of antibodies is truly remarkable. Each antibody is designed to bind to only one particular antigen, or a very closely related one. This lock-and-key mechanism ensures that your immune response is highly targeted, attacking only the harmful invaders without damaging your own healthy cells. Antibodies work in several ways to eliminate pathogens. They can neutralize toxins or viruses, preventing them from harming cells. They can cause pathogens to clump together, a process called agglutination, making them easier for scavenger cells to engulf. They can also tag pathogens, a process called opsonization, signaling other immune cells to destroy them. Lastly, they can activate the complement system, a group of proteins that directly kill pathogens. Time for some medium-level questions. Take a moment to consolidate your knowledge. 1. What are antibodies also known as, and which cells produce them? 2. Describe the basic Y-shaped structure of an antibody molecule. 3. Explain the concept of specificity as it applies to antibodies. 4. List and briefly explain two ways antibodies help fight off pathogens. And 5. What are memory B cells and what is their role in immunity? Now, let's dive into the hard level, where we'll unravel the intricate details of antibody structure, their diverse classes, and advanced mechanisms of action. Prepare for a deeper understanding. Let's dissect the antibody structure further. Each antibody molecule is a marvel of molecular engineering, composed of 4 polypeptide chains, 2 identical heavy chains and 2 identical light chains, all held together by disulfide bonds. Each chain possesses both a variable, V, region and a constant, C, region. The variable regions, specifically at the tips of the YS arms, form the antigen binding sites, which are incredibly diverse and confer the antibody's unique specificity. In contrast, the constant regions determine the antibody's class or isotype and mediate its effector functions, interacting with other immune cells and molecules. A flexible hinge region between the arms and stem allows the antibody to adapt and bind to antigens positioned at various distances. There are 5 major classes of antibodies, also known as immunoglobulins, each with distinct roles, identified by their heavy chain constant regions. IgG is the most abundant, making up about 75 to 80% of antibodies, and is crucial for long-term immunity, even crossing the placenta to protect newborns. IgM, typically found as a pentamer, is the first antibody produced during a primary immune response and is highly effective at agglutination. IgA, often a dimer, is abundant in secretions like saliva and tears, protecting mucous membranes. IgE is primarily involved in allergic reactions and defense against parasites, binding to mast cells and basophils. Finally, IgD is mostly found on the surface of naive B cells, acting as an antigen receptor, though its full function is still being investigated. Beyond neutralization and agglutination, antibodies employ several advanced mechanisms. Opsonization is a process where antibodies coat pathogens, essentially tagging them for destruction, making them much more appealing and easily engulfed by phagocytic cells like macrophages. Antibodies can also activate the classical pathway of the complement system. When an antibody-antigen complex forms, it triggers a cascade of protein interactions, ultimately leading to pathogen lysis and inflammation. Furthermore, antibodies mediate antibody-dependent cell-mediated cytotoxicity, or ADCC. Here, antibodies bind to infected cells or tumor cells, and their constant region is recognized by natural killer cells, which then release cytotoxic substances to destroy the target cell. These mechanisms are vital for a comprehensive immune response. Now, let's challenge your understanding with these hard-level questions. Take your time to formulate comprehensive answers. 1. Describe the 4 polypeptide chains that make up an antibody molecule, specifying their regions. 2. Differentiate between the variable and constant regions of an antibody chain. 3. List the 5 major classes of antibodies and state one key characteristic or function for each. 4. Explain how IgG provides passive immunity to a newborn baby. 5. Beyond neutralization and agglutination, describe 2 other advanced mechanisms by which antibodies eliminate pathogens. 6. What is the significance of the hinge region in an antibody's function? And 7. How do memory B cells contribute to long-term immunity? Welcome to the hardest level. Here, we'll explore the cutting-edge aspects of antibodies, from their genetic origins to their engineering for modern medicine. Prepare for competitive depth and insightful connections. The concept of immunity mediated by soluble factors in body fluids, or humoral immunity, began to take shape in the late 19th century. Pioneers like Emil von Behring and Shipsuburo Kitasto, in 1890, demonstrated that serum from immunized animals could neutralize toxins, coining the term antitoxins, which we now recognize as antibodies. This groundbreaking work earned von Behring the first Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. Later, Paul Ehrlich, in the early 20th century, proposed his side chain theory, suggesting that cells possess specific receptors that bind to toxins, and excess receptors are then shed into the bloodstream as antibodies. This theory was instrumental in establishing the lock and key model of antibody-antigen interaction, laying a crucial foundation for modern immunology. One of the most profound biological engineering feats is the generation of antibody diversity. Our genome doesn't have a distinct gene for every single antibody. Instead, this vast diversity is achieved through V-D-J recombination. During B-cell development, genes encoding heavy and light chains are assembled from multiple variable diversity for heavy chains and joining segments along with constant regions. Specialized RAG enzymes randomly cut and rejoin these segments. This somatic recombination, combined with junctional diversity, where nucleotides are randomly added or deleted at the recombination sites, creates an astronomical number of unique antibody specificities, estimated to be between 10 to the power of 11 and 10 to the power of 13. This mechanism ensures our immune system can recognize virtually any pathogen it encounters. The ability to produce monoclonal antibodies, or MAbs, revolutionized immunology and medicine. In 1975, Kohler and Milstein developed hybridoma technology, fusing antibody-producing B cells with immortal myeloma cells to create hybridoma cell lines that produce a single, highly specific antibody indefinitely. This engineering breakthrough has led to MAbs becoming indispensable tools. In therapeutics, they target specific cancer cells, neutralize inflammatory cytokines in autoimmune diseases, or block viral entry. For instance, rituximab targets B cells in lymphoma, and adalimumab treats rheumatoid arthritis. Research uses them for precise antigen detection, and in diagnostics, they are integral to various tests. Further engineering, like creating chimeric, humanized, or fully human MAbs, reduces immunogenicity, making them safer and more effective for patient treatment, marking a significant advancement in targeted therapies. Antibodies are deeply intertwined with the complement system, initiating its classical pathway upon forming antigen-antibody complexes, particularly with IgM and IgG. This cascade culminates in the formation of the membrane attack complex, which directly lyses target cells. Beyond pathogen destruction, antibodies are critical in regulating immune responses, modulating inflammation, and clearing harmful immune complexes. However, their dysregulation can lead to pathology. In type I hypersensitivity, IgE antibodies mediate allergic reactions, binding to mast cells and triggering histamine release upon allergen exposure. Conversely, in autoimmune diseases like lupus, antibodies mistakenly target self-antigens, causing widespread tissue damage. The ongoing engineering of therapeutic antibodies, including bispecific antibodies and antibody-drug conjugates, signifies a continuous evolution in leveraging these molecules for precise disease intervention and holds immense promise for future medical advancements. Now, let's tackle the first set of challenging questions. 1. Discuss the historical contributions of von Behring, Kitasto, and Ehrlich to our understanding of antibodies. 2. Explain the V-D-J recombination process, highlighting its significance in generating antibody diversity. 3. How does junctional diversity further enhance the repertoire of antibody specificities? 4. Describe the hybridoma technology for producing monoclonal antibodies, including the key cell types involved. And 5. Provide 3 distinct therapeutic applications of monoclonal antibodies, giving examples if possible. Here are the remaining challenging questions. 6. Elaborate on the classical pathway of complement activation, specifying the role of antibodies. 7. How do antibodies contribute to type I hypersensitivity reactions, and which antibody isotype is primarily involved? 8. Discuss the concept of autoimmune diseases in relation to antibody function, providing an example. 9. What are antibody-drug conjugates, or ADCs, and what is their therapeutic advantage? And 10. Compare and contrast bispecific antibodies with traditional monoclonal antibodies in terms of their potential applications. And that concludes our in-depth exploration of antibodies. We've journeyed from their basic definition to their complex genetic basis and cutting-edge therapeutic applications. I hope this session has profoundly enriched your understanding of these vital components of our immune system. For more such engaging and comprehensive educational content, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for regular updates and to continue your learning journey. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning. Thank you for joining us today.